Picture yourself lying on a simple straw mattress inside a small stone and wood room. The walls are cool, but the blankets and furs keep you warm. The fire in the hearth crackles softly, sending gentle heat and shifting shadows across the walls. Outside, the wind brushes the curtains and you can hear the faint rustle of trees with the distant toll of a church bell every now and then. Your breathing slows and the warmth of your family or companions nearby adds to the comfort. The smell of wood, smoke, and the crisp night air drifts in softly, grounding you in the room. Every small movement, every quiet sound of the night helps your mind relax. You realize you are here in this simple space, just like people in the Middle Ages, where nights are slow, safe, and comforting. Let your body sink into the bedding. Let your mind let go of all thoughts, and let the night carry you gently into deep sleep, slowly, quietly, just as they slept here centuries ago.
Now, let's talk about where people slept. Beds back then were very different from what we are used to. Some had simple wooden frames with straw mattresses, not exactly plush, but functional. Others had blankets, furs if they were fortunate, and occasionally a thin pillow or a rolled-up bundle of cloth. Families often shared rooms, even beds. It wasn't cramped in a bad way, more like cozy, like a little human nest. Imagine lying down with your siblings, the warmth of your parents beside you, the soft flicker of the hearthlight reflecting on the walls. Not the comfiest bed ever, but the warmth of your family makes it perfect, doesn't it? You might hear the low hum of someone breathing softly, a small creak of the wooden floor, all of it blending into a gentle, sleepy rhythm. Even the simplest arrangements had a quiet charm, a reminder that comfort isn't just about softness, it's about the sense of safety and closeness around you.
Here's something fascinating. People didn't always sleep straight through the night. They often had a first sleep, beginning shortly after dusk. Deep, restful, without any noise from the outside world. Just the soft crackle of the fire, the occasional sigh of wind, and the quiet breathing of those nearby. Then, perhaps around midnight, they might wake for a short while. Some would stretch lazily, whisper a prayer, or just stare at the stars for a few minutes. Some might get up to check on the fire or pour a small cup of warm drink, feeling the calm stillness of the house around them. And then, after this gentle pause, they drifted into a second sleep, sometimes for hours, sometimes until the first rays of sunlight peeked through the windows. It's a rhythm the modern world has mostly forgotten. Imagine it, a night that flows in two soft waves, giving your body and mind time to rest fully, deeply, and without pressure.
Before sleep, people's minds would wander naturally. No screens, no endless notifications, just quiet reflection. Perhaps they thought about the day's tasks. Did the bread bake properly? Did the cow give enough milk? Did they manage to finish their chores? Or maybe they remembered a small moment of joy, like the baker giving an extra piece of bread, or a neighbor laughing softly in the courtyard. Some might whisper a prayer, asking for safety, gratitude, or peace. It's lovely to imagine this, isn't it? The mind unburdened, the heart relaxed, drifting slowly through small, gentle thoughts, nothing pressing, nothing urgent. Even the tiniest details become comforting when the world is quiet and the fire burns softly nearby. Another remarkable thing, there were no clocks to tell them when to sleep or wake. No alarms, no buzzing phones, no schedule demanding attention. Sunset and sunrise were the markers, and the body followed its own rhythm. Imagine drifting off when your body is ready, not because an alarm yells at you. The sense of freedom, of trust in your own body, it must have been wonderful. You could simply let yourself sink into rest, knowing that your sleep is guided naturally, gently, without interruption. Nowadays, alarms yank and shout at us, but here your body gently guides you to rest, and the night feels infinitely longer, calm, and safe. In modern times, many people think of summer as a season of long days filled with extended vacations. However, the idea of the summer holiday actually developed much later, in the early 20th century, as a result of farmers needing their children to work in agriculture during the summer months. People in the Middle Ages did not view summer as a time for rest. On the contrary, since most people worked in agriculture, summer was the busiest period of the year. It was the season for plowing fields, planting crops, removing weeds, and even harvesting. Beyond farming, travel was also much easier in summer. Despite the heat, traveling in winter was far more difficult as travelers had to endure cold temperatures, snow, and ice. Wars, too, were often fought during the summer months, when movement and supply were more manageable. The bishop and writer Bartholomeus Anglicus noted in his encyclopedia, written in the mid-13th century, that summer is a hot and dry season lasting 3 months, beginning on June 17th and ending on September 18th. Monks in the Middle Ages followed a way of life that was different from most people, yet deeply calm and steady. Night inside a monastery carried a special atmosphere, one shaped by routine, simplicity, and quiet order. As evening settled, each monk would withdraw quietly to his small cell, a room built of stone, meant only for rest and reflection. Inside, there was little more than what was necessary: a straw mattress, a simple blanket, and perhaps a wooden shelf holding a book or a small vessel of water. Nothing extra, nothing distracting. A single candle burned slowly, its flame steady, casting long, gentle shadows across the rough walls. The light did not demand attention. Instead, it softened the room, allowing the eyes to grow tired naturally and the mind to slow its pace. The air in the monastery was cool and clean, carrying the faint scents of stone, wood, and melted wax. During the night, a monk might wake briefly, not from noise or urgency, but because the rhythm of the night allowed it. He might sit quietly, take a calm breath, whisper a short prayer in a low voice, then return to rest without haste. There was no struggle with sleep, no attempt to control it, only a quiet acceptance of the body's natural flow. Far away along the long corridors of the abbey, the soft echo of distant footsteps or a faint chant might be heard, fading quickly into silence. Even this silence felt full rather than empty, steady and comforting, as if it gently held the entire building in place. It was a living stillness, one that helped the mind slow further and allowed sleep to arrive without effort. In this setting, sleep felt like a continuation of meditation rather than a break from it. The body relaxed, thoughts loosened their grip, and the night passed slowly within the stone walls, calm, secure, and perfectly suited for deep, peaceful rest. Travel in the Middle Ages did not continue through the night, and when darkness fell, sleep became the natural pause that the road demanded. As night settles on the path, travelers stop quietly. The journey cannot continue in darkness, not without risk, so they pause wherever they can, near a roadside inn, a small village, a monastery, or sometimes simply beside the path itself. There is no comfort like home, only practicality. A cloak is folded and laid on the ground. A bundle becomes a pillow. The earth beneath is firm, yet still carries the warmth of the day. Nearby, horses shift slowly, their breathing calm, reins tied to a post or a tree. The faint clink of metal, the soft groan of leather, the scraping of hooves on the dirt, these familiar sounds bring reassurance. Nothing moves too quickly, nothing disturbs the calm. If shelter is found, it is simple: a shared room, straw on the floor, bodies resting close together for warmth.
No one speaks much. Travel exhausts the body, in silence feels natural. A small fire may still burn, reduced to glowing embers. Its faint light flickers across wooden beams and stone walls. The air carries the smell of smoke, wool, and road dust. Outside, the night continues its quiet work. The wind drifts through the trees. An owl calls once, then disappears again into darkness. The road, so busy during the day, now feels distant and still. Sleep while traveling feels different, lighter yet deeper in its own way. The body rests because it must, not because the conditions are perfect. Wrapped in your cloak, listening to unfamiliar sounds, the mind begins to let go slowly. Tomorrow's journey can wait. For now, there is only the night, the stillness, and the rest earned by the road.
At night, the world around villages and monasteries becomes quiet, but life does not stop. Animals slowly take their place in the darkness, and their sounds blend gently into the night, as if guiding human sleep to the rhythm of nature. Cattle in the stable shift on the straw, breathing deeply, sometimes lifting their heads to sense the cool air drifting inside. Goats and horses stand or rest nearby, their movements slow and steady, each breath soft and unhurried, as though the night itself is breathing through them. Dogs remain alert, rising now and then to listen, then settling back down, their calm presence offering a feeling of safety. Cats move silently through the shadows, slipping along narrow paths and wooden beams. Their ears catch the faintest sounds, their eyes reflecting the soft glow of moonlight or candle flame. Even the smallest creatures, mice in the walls, night birds hidden in trees, add delicate layers of sound, filling the silence without disturbing it. The air moves gently through the branches, carrying the rustle of leaves, blending with the quiet sounds of animals to create a natural harmony. These subtle noises soothe the mind, allowing the body to relax little by little. Each sound reminds you that the night is alive, and that sleep is simply another part of this shared rhythm. As you lie resting, you sense this life around you, the soft shifting of straw, the flutter of wings, the distant flow of water if a stream is nearby, the earthy scent of soil and grass. The quiet is not empty, it is full of reassurance, shaped by creatures that know the night well.
As the sun sets and the last daytime sounds fade away, castles enter a different phase of the day, where night becomes a time of quiet watchfulness rather than activity. The thick stone walls, which absorbed noise during the day, now hold the cool air and trap sounds deep within them. Long corridors gradually empty, footsteps becoming rare and measured, heard only at wide intervals. Torches are extinguished one by one, leaving only the faint glow of a few candles placed near doorways or in the corners of hallways. Shadows stretch along the walls, moving slowly with the flicker of flame, as if the castle itself is settling into stillness. Inside the chambers, people prepare for sleep. Beds are slightly raised from the floor, covered with heavy fabrics and fur blankets. Narrow windows allow the cool night air to enter, carrying the scent of stone and dampness, along with a soft whisper of wind. Along the walls, guards continue their watch in silence. The steady rhythm of their footsteps and the quiet touch of metal do not break the silence, but blend into it. Below, the inner courtyard lies still, disturbed only by a distant echo or the passing of a night bird overhead. Sleeping inside a castle has its own character. There is a sense of safety, solid and unmoving, much like the walls themselves. Everything is built to endure, to protect, and to remain calm through the night.
As night settles over a women's monastery, life slows into a quiet and ordered rhythm. The day's work has ended, and the stone walls now hold only soft movement and calm intention. The nuns move gently through the corridors, their steps light, almost careful not to disturb the silence they respect so deeply. Simple lamps or candles guide the way, casting warm, steady light that barely shifts as they pass. Their routine is familiar and unhurried. Evening prayers have been completed, voices once raised together now replaced by stillness. There is no rush, only the comfort of repetition, learned over years. Sleeping spaces are modest. Small cells, often shared, contain little more than a straw mattress, a blanket, and a wooden stool. Personal belongings are few, chosen for usefulness rather than comfort, yet the simplicity itself feels calming. Before rest, there is a final moment of quiet reflection. Some nuns sit briefly at the edge of their beds, hands folded, breathing slowly. Others lie down immediately, allowing the body to settle as the mind grows still.